Tim Albright with AVNation at, well, quite frankly, Shure's headquarters with Ryan. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. You guys are kicking off a months-long Roadshow. We're doing it here in Chicago.
It's a little bit longer than that. It's like 8 weeks. Yeah.
Well, many months. Yeah.
Yes.
9 weeks. Combination of 100th year anniversary, but also kind of taking some of the new releases that you guys have done, and quite frankly, taking them around the U.S. Locally to kind of show people, both integrators as well as the end users, the solutions and kind of the problems that they solve, including this one here.
Yes.
You released at ISE, you talked about it at ISE. Talk for a second about the first of all, Shure's kind of advancements in the UC space, but also specifically the UC package.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you're going to see another module too that even goes more so into this, but really the introduction of the MXA 902 and a USB bundle, and it kind of being pre-configured is that conversation, that ability to have someone who does not know anything about programming, anything about commissioning, anything about pointing lobes or EQ curves or any of that, Dante routes, be able to just connect this to a system or get it all installed in terms of, running the cable and just connecting it to your compute and it working flawlessly is what this whole station is about.
But talk about the kind of the ease of use and the ease of installation, but also the ease of support.
Yes.
Right? Whether you have an integrator coming in and installing it, or you and your team do. Day two, how easy is this to support?
It is about as easy as it gets, because it should just work. And if it doesn't, there is a few small troubleshooting, which is just a quick phone call to us, get a real person on the phone, and usually within minutes, it's like, try this, try this, try this, and you're back up and running. But in reality, this thing, if you've done all of it right and you have the correct switch, which all of that stuff is within our documentation, you should be solid, golden.
Part of the presentation that you did looked at the 100 years of Shure.
Yes.
And you talked about the original PA system that you guys did in the 60s.
Yeah.
Because you have released now pendant speakers, and there are some that are like, wait a minute, Shure doesn't do speakers. They have done speakers for 50, 60 years now.
Yes, we have, but these are special. And beginning in 2020 with the MXN speaker, which was only in hard ceilings and drop ceilings, all of this is voice for intelligibility. It is made for conferencing. It is made for the replication of human voice. And our customers over and over and over, there are tons of speaker options. Now, why is Shure making a speaker? Because our customers asked us to make something that was replicating for human voice and just that, and to sound extremely well with our microphones.
Talk for a second about that, because I know enough about speakers to be dangerous, right? What is the difference between something that is designed for voice versus what I might listen to music to?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it in terms of DSP and on the back end, but I'll say too, we utilize certain drivers and certain aspects of the technology that's out there to really hone in on this and just have the super focus in terms of EQ curves to really bring out human voice and nothing else.
All right, very cool. And the other thing is when are these available?
These are shipping now. So, and I will say this too, because I know you don't have a video of it, but something along the lines of, this is our MXP5, and with one of the things about this is everything that you would need to do to kind of work on it is from the front. Okay. So this is obviously in the ceiling. It comes off very, very easily. It's magnetic, but from an integration perspective, that ability to kind of work on the speaker just on a ladder, not have to get up in the ceiling, is huge. And those are just little tiny things that we do and think about that our end users want. And then you can just.
All right, so you've got that. The other part of this is you guys have an amplifier that kind of goes with it.
Yes.
Talk about that for a second.
Yeah, absolutely. So the amplifier, the ability to do 8 ohm or 70 volt, but it has the full DSP built into it, and it has all of the profile settings for each individual speaker. So once you kind of connect that and say, hey, that's what this is, it has the profile, gets loaded from an EQ curve perspective. But I will say the really important part is people loved our MXN speaker because it was networkable and it went back to the switch. But port space, this is something that is a really big deal. You may only have one extra port. that ability to connect the amplifier to that single port and power up to 8 speakers is a big, big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So I made reference to it before, the IntelliMix room kits.
Yes.
Talk for a second, first and foremost, when you guys look at the conferencing system, what was the thinking behind coming out with the IntelliMix room kits?
Yeah, so I'd say historically, Shure has made the most incredible peripherals for a UC system.
Okay.
The microphone that is fantastic, sounds incredible, but built into another UC system. That is actually, the compute, the touch panel. So this is our first foray into actually being that complete UC system. So it's a big deal for us, where we wanted to take that same level of quality that we have in our microphones and bring that to the MTR experience.
All right. So what makes this, special, different? You talked about several times today. The ease of use, the ease of installation, but also the ease of support.
Yes, absolutely. So from that standpoint of the word we were using, it's a little AV engineer in the box.
Okay.
So regardless, if you are setting this up with our foundation kit, which has the compute and the tablet, and then you get to choose whether it's one single MXA 902 or a larger space with multiple 902s, and all the way up from a Hudley IQ all the way up to the Hudley Cruise system, regardless of which you have, you plug everything into the switch that we give you in the box with all the cables that we give you in the box, and you press power on our compute. It does look like a P300, the design is solid. You press power on that, it's going to auto-config, and it's going to run all of the routes. It's going to do all of the back-end DSP stuff to make that room sound incredible, regardless if you have that single 902 solution all the way up to the double and the Hudley Crew.
So, roughly, whether you're talking to, an AV manager in education or IT folks in corporate, how long should it, typically would it take you to deploy one of these?
Yeah, from start to finish of nothing done, yes, facilities needs to actually get these in the ceiling and things of that nature. But once all that has happened and you're running cables, as we saw in that video, I'd say you give it probably add another couple minutes. Under 10 minutes, you can get this thing commissioned.
Per room?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, you're saving time and money.
And again, when is this available?
This is going to be available in the spring.
All right, Ryan, we'll finish up our day here at, of course, your wireless system.
Yes.
Shure has been known for wireless for, again, 50, 60 years now, which sounds crazy. But talk about the next two wireless system and kind of the innovations you guys have done with that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, back in 2011 when we came out with the Microflex wireless system, something that was interesting was we had it built with so many features that we actually didn't make any changes to it for all of those years.
Wow.
Until up to last year when we released the Next 2 system. It's the 2-channel system. And now with the Microflex Wireless Next 4 and Next 8, it's just the expanded version of that with all the additional I/O. And the biggest thing is it has the DSP built into it with the USB out, so you can connect this directly to your compute versus needing an intermediary like a P300.
Well, something else you mentioned, in some of these other ones, but also in your presentation, the Microflex can also daisy chain network as well.
Yes, so thank you for bringing that up. So these charging ports, these charging bays can be daisy chained together. So you can have a very large system, and everything going back to that single port, just kind of really maximizing, one port, what that can do.
Yeah.
So that's something for sure. And then also, with people who know Microflex Wireless know that it's the ease of use from a standpoint of you just pick up the mic and it works. You don't need to do any frequency coordination or anything like that. It's doing all that in the background for you. So,
one thing I want to hit, actually, there's two things really quickly. One is several of these products, you keep saying, the DSP is built in, DSP is built in. That's a bigger deal, right? That's a pretty big, so talk about why that matters as far as, Shure and the microphones and the speakers.
Yeah. So when you have the DSP built in, our IntelliMix, it's on a unit level, with all the algorithms that we know that these things
'Cause you
need,
make them.
Yes, because we make them. It's all baked in and almost automatic. Versus I'm taking this raw audio channel into something else that I need to heavily program. So it really is continuously making our products easier to use for anybody and everybody, faster deployments, and yes, the fact that we do work on all these algorithms and make them all in-house, the ability to bake them directly into the products and have, like you said, talking about the speakers, which paired with this, right? Like it knows what it needs to do on the microphone side and then how that needs to sound on the speaker side, and it just is doing all that for you with the profiles.
Well, one of the places you can hear that immediately are these road shows.
Yes.
We'll put a link on this page aside, but kind of, over you, how do people get involved? How do they, find out about the road show?
Yeah.
How do they go out to one of these themselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the easiest way is to stay up to date on what's happening on our LinkedIn, which we're always making updates on that. And then also too, the majority of people out there know about our rep firms that are spread throughout the nation. And it's like reaching out to your local rep, figuring out, when these things are and getting signed up.
All right, Ryan, thanks so much.
Yes,
Appreciate the
thank
day.
you. Yes.
All right, for us, for AVNation, go by our website, avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv, and follow along as we hang out with Shure and other folks. All that and more at avnation.tv. It's avnation.tv.